Tonight on CTV3 News, is the U.S. investigating the alleged kidnapping of Joseph Ryan Bunna? We bring comments from Honorable Francis Fonseca. He also talks to us about what is deemed as a successful ICJ hearings as the country seeks to strengthen territorial defenses. BEL makes a bid for rate increase. Now what does that mean for consumers? And a second cohort of transport officers successfully complete road safety training. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, November 28th, 2025.
Looking for quality, tasty, and easy to prepare meals? Look no farther. M&M Frozen Foods, proudly distributed by United Distributors Limited, brings you a wide range of delicious frozen delights, perfect for every occasion. From frozen pizzas, quesadillas, garlic bread, jumbo samosa, cocktail samosas, pizza pockets, spring rolls, and hacken noodles, M&M Frozen Foods is fresh, flavorful, and convenient for busy lifestyles. Whether you're planning a quick dinner, hosting a gathering, or stocking up for the week, M&M Frozen Foods has you covered. Available now at leading supermarkets and stores nationwide through United Distributors Limited. M&M Frozen Foods, extensive variety to satisfy every craving.
Attention farmers! The New World screwworm is a serious threat to livestock, pets, wildlife, and humans. It causes yield losses, damages the quality of meat and skins, and can even kill them if left untreated. Check your animals daily. If you see any wounds on them, treat them immediately. Prevention is key. Apply approved healing and fly repellents to the navel of newborn animals after dehorning, ear tagging, or any other practice that leaves wounds on your animals to ensure your animal's well-being. If you notice worms in unusual wounds, report them immediately. Call Baha at 824-4872 or text or WhatsApp 670-7003 or call your nearest Ministry of Agriculture office. And don't forget, never transport or receive animals with injuries. Together, we will prevent the spread of this dangerous disease. This message was brought to you by Baha, OIRSA, AICA, USDA, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, and Enterprise.
We are the Public Utilities Commission. Since 1999, we have regulated Belize's electricity, water, and telecommunication sectors, ensuring quality services at reasonable rates for consumers. A lot has changed since our establishment in 1999, and so have we. To reflect our evolution and future-focused vision, we are proud to introduce our new identity, where the blend of colors show our balanced and inclusive approach to regulation, where innovation, sustainability, and trust are all equally important. Orange represents the telecommunications sector and symbolizes innovation and connectivity. Green reflects the energy sector, sustainability, and national growth. Blue represents the water sector, highlighting trust, stability, and life-sustaining resources. White symbolizes transparency and accountability, core principles of the PUC. We are the Public Utilities Commission, transitioning to a new look, but our core values remain the same: accountability, excellence, integrity, innovation, and professionalism. Our logo is more than a design. It is our visual commitment to continue to serve the people of Belize with transparency, competence, and professionalism. We are the Public Utilities Commission.
Your government is taking back ownership of our hydro dams and power generation plants, and all shares held in BEL by the foreign-owned Fortis. Belizean assets in the hands of Belizeans. Fully Belizean-owned and managed, with all local employees. Our nation's premier source of clean power generation is now in our hands. Revenues made in Belize will now stay in Belize. Remember, energy security equals economic independence. Your government continues to put Belizeans first.
Police rescued a woman who was allegedly held captive and raped repeatedly by her ex-boyfriend. A few weeks ago, we told you about a teacher in the Corozal district who was accused of rape and sexual assault against a student. Well, tonight it's a principal that stands accused, and the student he allegedly abused is 13. A 17-year-old from the Belize district told police that her father had touched her inappropriately in a sexual manner in July before he raped her at their home on the day school opened.
Real men don't beat up women. Real men don't prey on children. Real men don't abuse and rape and terrorize. Real men uplift women and protect children. It's time to break the cycle. Time to end the violence. It starts with us.
Infrastructure that impacts lives, provides opportunities, and enables the growth of communities and country. That has been the constant mission of the MIDH. The upgrading of the Guinea Grass Road has forged a vital link between the vibrant and productive communities of Shipyard, Guinea Grass, and the rest of Belize, which allows the smooth movement of goods and services. The transformation provided by meaningful infrastructure is very real.
We had really been struggling to transport these hoses on these roads, right? Since we have all the holes in the roads and stuff like that. We do not have that issue anymore, right? So now when we are delivering our hose, it comes to its location in a 100% complete product, right?
Before this highway came into place, this Tower Hill to Guinea Grass highway, there was a lot of bad things going on in terms of the road. It was bad. Potholes when it used to rain. People used to take a long time to come out and come into the village. And even teachers who are teaching here who have to commute find it very difficult to do their traveling every day.
Una gran diferencia, gran diferencia. En el tiempo que estaba la carretera, que no estaba pavimentada, era demasiado polvo demasiado. Y era como más despacio. Andabas como más lento porque pues no podías ir rápido. Pero ahorita es un gran beneficio, la mera verdad es, yo creo que es lo mejor que el gobierno ha hecho. Yo estoy muy feliz, muy alegre con ello.
Well, now with this highway, now we have a lot of people, traversing the village. And our people in our village who have a small business like fast food, they're benefiting from that, no? Because people stop there in the morning, have their breakfast, and they go and continue their business.
Have business been increasing? Definitely. Yeah, we have realized when it comes to our customers, right? So we do not have the problems anymore that customer would say if they would call in, okay, where are you located, right? And I would say, we're located entrance of Shipyard. And then they would say, okay, we have to travel the bad road or whatever. So that's not a question anymore.
In the past, I believe these students used to struggle, meaning going on the bus or traveling on pickup, and it took long, they reached late to their classes. But right now, the transportation is accessible and the highway is accessible. So from Guinea Grass to their destination, to Orange Rock, to the high schools in Orange Rock, it takes less time. Right now, I believe teachers, people smile because it only takes minutes to reach from Guinea Grass to Tower Hill.
With your newscast also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Jaden Gamis. We start tonight's newscast with the case of Joseph Ryan Budna. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Honorable Francis Fonseca, says neither he nor the Prime Minister has been briefed on any concerns from the United States regarding the case of Joseph Ryan Budna and his alleged kidnapping. Budna, as it has been extensively reported, alleges he was unlawfully detained and handed over to Guatemalan authorities by Belizean police officers. Budna, who had outstanding convictions in Guatemala, claims he was effectively kidnapped by local officials before being transferred across the border. He has since filed a legal claim against the government of Belize, the Commissioner of Police, and several officers allegedly involved in the operation. Speaking to reporters today, Minister Fonseca stated that to date, no communication or inquiry has been received from U.S. authorities concerning Budna's allegations.
As well as yourself, have they brought up the case of the Budna's kidnapping as a point of interest?
They have not with me. No, not with me. In my discussions with them, they have not raised that issue with me.
What about with the Prime Minister?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know. I mean, I have not been in briefings with the Prime Minister. We have separate briefings from them. But not with me. They have not raised it with me.
The matter is now before the courts, where Budna is seeking legal redress. Meanwhile, the Minister of Foreign Affairs says he will continue monitoring developments but has not engaged in any diplomatic exchanges related to the case. Belize has moved one step closer to expanding its trade opportunities in the region following the approval of the partial scope agreement between the government of Belize and the Republic of El Salvador. The decision was confirmed during the 61st regular meeting of the Council for Trade and Economic Development, COTED, held November 20th to the 21st of 2025 in Georgetown, Guyana. Member states endorsed the agreement for certification, paving the way for Belize to formally sign the trade pact. The agreement aims to trade bilateral trade, increase market access, and deepen economic cooperation between the two countries. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Honorable Francis Fonseca, welcomed the approval, describing it as a significant milestone for Belize. He noted that the agreement is expected to come into effect in early 2026, positioning Belize to benefit from new export opportunities and enhance regional integration.
Oh, that's critical. Well, it's required because that's a part of our treaty obligations that we get quoted approval. It's very important because it now means that we can move forward with our partial scope agreement, finalize that agreement with El Salvador, and really open up the El Salvador market for Belize, new products, new goods that we can access, but we can export into the El Salvador market. It's been a long process, years of work. I really want to commend and congratulate the entire foreign trade team, the Directorate General, for the work that they've done. They've been doing this for years. They've been working on this El Salvador PSA. Very important, I think, in terms of our economic development moving forward. The opportunity to expand our trade markets, expand exports, I think is critically important.
And then they can export to Belize as well?
Yeah, the whole PSA is about determining certain goods, looking at specific goods, so we've agreed on a number of goods. It's hundreds of items that we've agreed on over, as I said, through negotiations over a number of years. So yes, it's obviously reciprocal.
How much time before the agreement is actually in effect?
I think it will probably take effect in early 2026, I believe.
The government of Belize says the next steps will focus on completing the signing process and preparing local exporters to take advantage of the agreement once it is fully implemented. Belizean officials say the country has successfully met its objectives in the recent hearings before the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, where two long-standing territorial matters involving Belize were presented. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Honorable Francis Fonseca, emphasized the importance of closely following the procedures, noting that these cases carry significant national implications. Belize has currently two matters before the ICJ: the long-standing Belize-Guatemala territorial, insular, and maritime dispute, and the separate case involving Honduras over the sovereignty of the Sapodilla Keys. While hearings have both progressed, the court is not expected to deliver a decision on the Sapodilla Keys case until next year. Minister Fonseca expressed confidence in Belize's presentations, stating that the legal teams delivered strong, well-supported submissions.
Yeah, I couldn't watch them live, but I watched them afterwards. I watched them. Yeah, I think, of course, very, very important. We have to pay very, very close attention to what is happening. And I think Belize achieved its objectives in our interventions, in our submissions, both by our agent and by our lawyers. What's critical and important for Belize is ensuring that there's a coordinated approach by the court. So that's one point we wanted, substantive point we wanted to make to the court, and I think we made that very strongly and effectively, that there should be a coordinated approach, that these two cases, they're separate cases, but obviously there should be a coordinated approach by the court to dealing with them. We hope that they will deal with the Belize-Guatemala case first, and then thereafter, very shortly, deal with the Belize-Honduras Sapodilla Keys issue. And then the second substantive point was that, listen, these things have been languishing for a number of years. We really would want the court to deliver a timely conclusion, timely resolution to these two cases so that we can move forward. So I think Belize was able to make those 2 points very strongly and effectively. Based on the advice that I've received from our legal team, they believe that perhaps the application by Guatemala to intervene, that there will be a determination of that in early 2026. So it will take a few months.
The ministry is encouraging Belizeans to remain attentive to the developments, as the outcomes will shape the nation's territorial integrity and regional relations for generations. A 19-year-old student from Western Belize was granted bail of $6,000 by Justice Candice Nanton on Thursday, after the court recognized special reasons favoring his case concerning a charge of attempted murder. The incident in question occurred during Garifuna Settlement Day celebrations in Dangriga on November 19th. The young man, who is currently in fourth form at a local high school, had previously been remanded to Belize Central Prison following his initial arraignment, where bail was initially denied. However, after reviewing additional evidence, Justice Nanton decided to approve his release, citing his age, his status as a student, and an affidavit from the victim as key factors. Represented by attorney Orson O.J. Erlington, the defendant's case gained a new perspective after the victim of the stabbing recounted his experience. According to the affidavit submitted to the court, the victim stated that around 11 p.m., while standing near the stage during the festivities, he was approached by an individual dressed entirely in black who then stabbed him twice in the neck. The victim maintained he did not recognize the attacker, and upon regaining consciousness at the hospital, identified the assailant as someone he did not know. Crucially, the victim later viewed a photograph of the accused student and explicitly confirmed that he was not the person responsible for the attack. The affidavit also detailed that the victim made 3 attempts to provide police with a further statement, which officers allegedly refused to record. Although a magistrate had ordered the police to take the additional statement, the process was reportedly not followed through. In his sworn statement, the victim emphasized that he was acting voluntarily and explicitly requested that charges against the student be withdrawn, asserting that the young man was innocent and not responsible for his injuries. With no opposition from Crown Counsel Maria Santana Nembard, the court imposed several conditions on the student's bail. He is required to report weekly to the San Ignacio Police Station on Saturdays, reside with his father at their home, attend all court hearings in Dangriga, avoid contacting the victim or any witnesses involved in the case, and not leave the country without prior judicial approval. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Honorable Francis Fonseca, has welcomed the recent approval of a Schengen visa waiver for Belizean nationals. An achievement, he says, reflects Belize's strong diplomatic standing and growing international recognition. Belize is among a select group of countries to receive such approval. Under the new arrangement, Belizeans will still be required to apply for a Schengen visa. However, the process comes with significant advantages. Once issued, the visa will be valid for a longer period, offering greater flexibility and an ease of travel across the Schengen area. Minister Fonseca noted that to benefit from this opportunity, Belizeans must ensure they hold the new electronic Belizean passport. The updated passport is a requirement for the enhanced visa privileges to take effect. Despite the progress, Belizeans will continue to submit their visa applications through embassies in Mexico or Guatemala, as Belize does not host a Schengen member diplomatic mission. Still, the extended validity and simplified recognitions are expected to improve travel access for students, tourists, business persons, and families.
We hope that eventually, there can be a complete waiver of the requirement for the Schengen visa. But this is an important, significant step, something, as you all know, that the government of Belize has been working on, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been working on for many, many years. This is sort of, middle ground. And I can say that, Belize is the only country that was approved. A number of countries have applied for the same visa cascade provision. So I think, it had a lot to do with our lobbying efforts, and I think a recognition that Belize and Belizeans really represent a low security risk going into the EU. So we're very grateful for that. What it means is that Belizeans now wanting to go into the Schengen area can go to Mexico or Guatemala. You still have to go there to get your visa, but you will be able to get a multiple visa up to 5 years. In some cases it might be less than 5 years. They may give you for 3 years, but up to 5 years you may get a multiple entry visa up to 5 years. So for that period of time you won't have to be going back and forth if you intend to be traveling into any of the Schengen area.
It will not apply to people who have the old passport, though.
Yeah, of course you have to get the new updated biometric passport. Everybody should get that. It's more secure. It allows you to access visas generally. Even I think the U.S. Is moving in that direction where they won't be giving visas if you don't have the updated passport. So I think it's in everybody's interest to apply for a new updated passport.
Coming up next, we tell you about how to prevent E. coli from contaminating the water you drink. Stay tuned.
Are you dealing with a fracture? At Sugar City Medical Center, we care about your recovery. Introducing our Fracture Care Package. For just $100, you'll receive a free orthopedic consultation, 2 x-rays, and a densitometry ultrasound, all designed to get you back on your feet faster. This offer is only available for patients with fractures and is valid until December 18th, 2025. Don't wait. Call Sugar City Medical Center today and take the first step towards your healing, because your health is our priority.
want to try something different.
Nice parking.
Thank you.
You missed a spot right there.
Plot twist.
Wow, you look beautiful.
Giddy up.
Knowing that you make a difference is what keeps us going.
Oh, Philadelphia is starting to feel like home.
Let's make it the best Christmas ever.
It is truly an honor to stand here today as a part of the cell phone repair training program. A program that has not only taught us a valuable technical skill, but also empower us as women to step into a field that is often seen as male-dominated. We learn how to open up phones, identify parts, common problems, and even fix these issues on our own. We have not only learned a new trade, but we have proven that women can do anything we set our minds to.
I am forever grateful for this experience. This course was amazing, and I bet these ladies have that knowledge now, and nobody's gonna take away that knowledge that we have.
So it's an opportunity for you to start to figure out the way forward and to be able to market to your community.
When women are empowered and they're productive, they produce, GDP grows, and we're all more productive and better off as an entire country. So they're investing in you, and they fully expect that you guys are going to go out and work and make your community better, make your families better, and then the country as a consequence is going to be so much better because of your hard work. I want to thank you for believing in yourself, for having the confidence to at least attempt something new. And in the future, I want you to continue to take chances, to challenge yourself, not to underestimate what you can do and try new things. Because a lot of times, people need just one chance.
Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, has filed a rate increase request with the Public Utilities Commission, the PUC. The proposal seeks to raise the average electricity rate by 5.55 cents effective January 1st, 2026, through adjustments to the existing tariffs. The primary goal of this adjustment is to recover costs incurred by BEL to supply electricity during the period from July 2023 to October 2025, amounting to 87.5 million Belizean dollars, which have not yet been recovered from customers. Additionally, the company projects an increase in energy supply expenses of 20.9 million Belizean dollars for the period from November 2025 to June 2026, costs that are not currently reflected in the existing rates. The proposed increase will also help BEL address upcoming supply challenges expected in the first half of 2026. These include higher electricity demand during the hotter, drier months that necessitate running more expensive energy sources such as gas turbines, the deployment of temporary generation units to meet increased demand before the new capacity projects come online, and elevated costs of importing electricity from CFE Mexico during peak months from April through July. The requested rate change intends to distribute the impact over a 2-year span. This approach aims to balance the need for sufficient revenue to sustain operations and fund vital infrastructure upgrades, while also maintaining affordable and predictable electricity prices for consumers across Belize. The PUC will now review BEL's application for rate adjustment for 2025 in accordance with standard regulatory procedures. Yesterday, the Statistical Institute of Belize, SIB, issued a clarification after raising alarms over the safety of drinking water within Belizean households. On Friday, SIB announced the commencement of the 7th cycle of the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, MICS, a comprehensive data collection initiative focusing on health, education, gender equality, and child welfare. However, the announcement sparked concern when SIB disclosed findings of E. coli bacteria in water samples from homes across the country, prompting fears about the safety of Belize's entire water system. In response, Belize Water Services, BWS, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, along with SIB, issued statements to reassure citizens that the water supply remains safe for consumption. They emphasized that the detection of bacteria appears to originate within households rather than from the main water source itself. Essentially, the issue arises after the water leaves the distribution system and reaches individual homes. Approximately 5,000 households, both in urban and rural areas, were tested as part of this survey. The results highlight an important aspect. Most of the contamination is linked to rainwater harvesting and storage practices. This points to a need for improved hygiene and maintenance of households' water collection systems. So, how can you keep your water E. coli free? Dr. Laura Friesen, Deputy Director of Public Health and Wellness, tells us exactly what to do.
I'm just going to close off with a few recommendations for all of us in our homes that we can take home and we can start to implement them to have better and more safe drinking water at the moment that we're actually swallowing our water. I'm just going to close off with a few recommendations for all of us in our homes that we can take home and we can start to implement them to have better and more safe drinking water at the moment that we're actually swallowing our water. Hand hygiene. We did this a lot during COVID, but sometimes we go backward instead of forward. Remember, hand hygiene is hand washing before and after eating, after using the bathroom, before preparing your food, and after preparing your food. These are very important measures. A lot of bacteria get transferred through our hands, through our fingernails, when we touch doorknobs, light switches, when we shake hands, when we open doors, we touch money, we touch a debit card. All of these things are high levels of bacterial load, so we need to practice good hand washing in the home, in the school, and at work. Good food hygiene is important. Proper food storage. Don't leave food out in the stove all day. Wash your hands before you touch your dishes. Wash your hands after preparing food and before preparing your food. Separating vegetables and meat. Separating raw and cooked food. All of these are important, and these are places where contaminants such as E. coli can pass around in a household. Treating untreated water before consumption with chlorine or boiling. For example, we have a lot of persons in Belize who use water from rainwater sources or other sources that are not treated. So these persons need to be aware that when they are consuming this water, they are highly likely to be consuming contaminants such as E. coli, parasites, and other microorganisms. So we need to make sure we're cleaning the water before we're drinking it or using it to cook. Also, cleaning vats, reservoirs, water containers, water dispensers, 5-gallon jugs regularly, and keeping any water container covered with a lid. A lot of us have these water containers in our places.
And having a good septic system is also of utmost importance.
Your septic system, if you're living in a city, it's a little bit easier, but if you're living in a rural area, making sure that the septic or outhouse is far away from any water source. This is very important as well, and this is something that we work throughout the communities. We work with the communities to try to ensure that this is happening within the households. We also encourage water boards in rural areas to be, to sanitize the water properly, and for villages to take those measures as well, to have safe drinking water for their consumption. Also, how about the mobile phones? We all walk around with this. How many of you sanitize your mobile phones? Mobile phones is one of the highest risks of contaminants of any surface that we touch on a regular basis. If you would swap this mobile phone right now, any one of you, I would find an assortment of E. coli, Pseudomonas, and I don't know what else. So Just another point of interest, you can sanitize your phone. That helps also to reduce the bacterial load and risk of contamination. And disposing of your
Ultimately, authorities stress that Belize's public water supply remains safe, but they also called for increased awareness and better hygiene practices at the household level to prevent further contamination. The government's recent cabinet reshuffle has brought several significant changes, including one of the most notable, the return of Honorable Francis Fonseca to the Ministry of Education. Fonseca now oversees two of the country's largest and most influential portfolios, education and foreign affairs. With his return to education, Minister Fonseca says he has hit the ground running, immediately immersing himself in key matters affecting the sector. Among the most pressing issues currently under review is the long-standing concern surrounding imposed teacher salary adjustments.
I'm very, very pleased and honored to always to represent my country and to serve my country. And now I'm doing so as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Culture, education, science, and technology. For me, there's really no value in analyzing why changes are made. What's important is that now I am the Minister of Education, back at the Ministry of Education. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm very passionate about education. So I'm very excited about the work that lies ahead. I look forward to working with all of the education stakeholders, the BNTU, BAPS, the church managements, GAMAS. We have a lot of challenging work that lies ahead. So I've reached out to them already for us to meet and engage and talk about the work that lies ahead. So we have a strong team at the Ministry of Education, and I'm very happy to re-engage with them and continue the work that we did over the last 5 years.
Fonseca confirmed that the discussions are already underway within the ministry as officials examine the circumstances and impacts of the imposed salaries, which have been a source of contention within the teaching community. He noted that addressing the matter is a priority as the ministry works to strengthen relations with educators and improve conditions across the system.
That is being corrected. It's not finalized yet, but we did receive correspondence both to myself and to the Prime Minister about the deduction process. So we've discussed that with the union, and I think we're at a place where we're working out a sort of schedule for payments, and we'll do it in a very equitable, fair way. Over a period of months. I think that will be resolved very shortly. I have a meeting with the unions next week, I believe next week Thursday, with the union on BNTU next week Thursday. And we'll discuss that, and I think coming out of that meeting we'll be able to finalize a formula to ensure that we resolve that issue.
But is it correct to have said that what they were given were advances? When you all came to the media, we never heard any talk about advances.
Yeah, I don't want to get into any characterization of how it's been described. So the important point is that we have a clear understanding of what the issue is, and we are resolving that issue. As I said, on Thursday we'll have a meeting. That will be one of the agenda items, and I'm absolutely confident that coming out of that meeting, we'll resolve that issue.
Minister Fonseca is expected to meet with BNTU officials to discuss the ongoing matters. The Department of Transport celebrated a significant milestone today with the graduation of its second group of trained traffic officers. The enforcement training ceremony took place in Belmopan, honoring the dedication and hard work of officers who have successfully completed a rigorous program designed to enhance road safety across the nation. The event underscored the officers' strengthened skills, heightened readiness, and unwavering commitment to maintaining safer roads for all Belizeans. The newly certified traffic officers are now better equipped to enforce traffic laws, manage road incidents, and promote disciplined driving behaviors, reflecting a proactive approach to curb accidents and fatalities. This training initiative is a key component of the Ministry of Transport's broader vision to develop a more efficient, disciplined, and service-oriented transport system for Belize. By investing in comprehensive enforcement capacity, the government aims to foster a culture of safety and responsibility among all road users. Minister of Transport Louis Zabane highlighted the importance of the program, which has a goal to create a transportation environment where safety is a paramount.
Because what we are asking you to do is, in the first instance, to change your own behavior, right? We shouldn't be asking anybody to do anything without we ourselves being willing to do it. So we at this level should be prepared, just as you are, to learn and to improve our own selves if we are to expect you to do that on a day-to-day basis. So we start there, behavioral change. And that means that the training that we've gotten should be empowering us to be different now than we were before. Otherwise, the training has had no impact. You need to be able to check yourself when you're out there, whether or not your own behavior has changed, has improved. That's the first test as to whether or not this program is having a positive impact. But besides that, we're talking.
As Belize continues to improve its transport infrastructure and enforcement measures, the graduation of this second cohort marks a significant step forward in building a more secure and reliable transportation network, says CEO in the Ministry of Transport, Chester Williams.
One of the most important things that we decided needed to be addressed was the effectiveness of our transport officers on our highways. You see, enforcement is not just about being present. It is about doing. And it's not just about doing, it's about doing what is right. How can we expect you to be present, to be doing, and to be doing what is right if we have not equipped you with the knowledge and tools to be able to do what is right? The propensity of having transport officers being recruited from the public and give them a uniform and tell them go out and enforce the traffic laws without any sort of formal training is certainly an injustice to you and an injustice to the Belizean public that you have been called upon to serve. It is with that backdrop that we decided to partner with the Belize Police Department so that we could put together a comprehensive training program to be able to train you, giving you the knowledge, the tools to be able to do as you should, to do good. I am happy that the Commissioner of Police.
The Department of Transport remains committed to ongoing training and development to uphold these standards and protect lives on Belize's roads. There is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Welcome to a new era of healthcare. We're thrilled to announce the grand opening of Orange Walk Multi-Care Hospital, your trusted health partner in Belize. Located at mile 56.5 Philip Golson Highway, our state-of-the-art facility offers comprehensive medical services, compassionate care, and cutting-edge technology all in one place. Join us on December 5th at 4 p.m. for our grand opening celebration and experience world-class healthcare right in your neighborhood. Orange Walk Multi-Care Hospital, caring for you, your family, and your community.
The government of Belize, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, and in partnership with national competent authorities, concluded the assessment of Belize's national food control system and presented a strategic action plan during a high-level meeting held at Dream Valley Jungle Resort on November 27, 2025. The assessment was conducted using the FAO/WHO Food Control System Assessment Tool under the framework of Project FVC GLO 220 MUL, aimed at strengthening food safety governance and control systems in small island developing states, SIDS, and least developed countries, LDCs. Over the past 9 months, Belize's food control authorities worked with FAO's facilitation team to collect, analyze, validate, and review data across all dimensions of the national food control system. The process included an inception workshop in March, extensive data collection through trained focal points, a multi-sectoral validation mission, and a 3-day technical workshop held earlier in the week to review findings and develop priority actions for strengthening the system. The high-level session brought together senior representatives from government ministries, development partners, producer associations, and academia to endorse the resulting strategic action plan, which outlines Belize's roadmap toward a more modern, risk-based, and coordinated food control system. The Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, Minister of Agriculture, Food Security, and New Growth Industries, emphasized that food security remains a national priority, fundamental not only to public health and consumer protection, but also to economic growth, agriculture, and trade. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to implement the recommended actions and support producers, processors, and exporters in meeting enhanced standards. Dr. Anna Tosa, FAO representative for Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Belize, also addressed the gathering, highlighting the commitment shown by Belize's competent authorities and the multi-sectoral effort that led to successful completion of the assessment. The FAO/WHO Food Control System tool provides a structured, transparent, and measurable framework to evaluate the performance of national food control systems and monitor progress over time. Using this tool, Belize has identified priority areas such as strengthening legislation, adopting risk-based inspection systems, enhancing laboratory capacity, improving stakeholder communication, and reinforcing governance and coordination mechanisms. Belize is giving thanks as the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season officially concludes on November 30th, having passed without a single direct storm strike. Despite early predictions of an active season, The country was spared from tropical storms and hurricanes, a fortunate outcome that has brought relief and celebration among Belizeans. Throughout the season, the National Meteorological Service diligently monitored tropical activity across the Atlantic Basin, providing regular updates and safety advisories to keep the public informed and prepared. Fortunately, the basin remained unusually quiet, with no systems posing a threat to Belize as potential storms approached. This calm weather pattern allowed the nation to avoid the destruction and displacement experienced in previous years. Meteor officials report that in the final days of the season, no system of concern has been identified. While minor increases in moisture and scattered showers were observed from passing tropical waves, no significant development occurred and no weather systems tracked toward Belize. Officials emphasized that while this year's season ended peacefully, the threat of hurricanes remains a real concern each year. They urged Belizeans to continue practicing preparedness and staying vigilant, ensuring that the country remains resilient in future hurricane seasons. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, December 1st, here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at www.ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening, and have a splendid night.